It takes making yourself a little bit uncomfortable, putting yourself, a little bit out there if you really want a world that looks better than it currently is. I am Tando Matanda. I'm a venture capitalist and I am the CEO and co-founder of Musa, which is an AI-driven platform to help drive equity in investments by empowering female and minority entrepreneurs. So my journey into investments was really through lived experience. I was an entrepreneur. I struggled to understand and navigate the capital raising process, even though I had a business background, So I realized that the only way to solve the problem was to do it from the inside. There's about a 1 in 30,000 chance of being a black woman in venture capital. I did the maths on that, that was fun. So really being able to bring my unique perspective to the way that I build companies and then make that the way that I also deploy capital, because when I'm looking at a problem, when I'm looking at an opportunity, you have to do that with the lens of your lived experiences. So that's why I went to the other side of the table in terms of going into investments. So Musa is an AI-driven venture assessment platform. We're looking to drive equity in investments by empowering diverse and minority founders and really trying to remove the bottlenecks that exist in the investment screening process. Now, our mission is to fund 10,000 or help fund 10,000 diverse founders, which is, when you put it in context, only about 5% of all investment dollars go to female and minority founders globally. So if we're able to do that, you'd be seeing that number go from about 5% to maybe about 7%, but you're talking about billions of dollars actually flowing to diverse founders globally. Morgan Stanley estimates that about $4 trillion is the missed opportunity in the US alone, caused by the underinvestment in women and minority founders. So when we're thinking about it from that investment perspective, I would say we actually have a fiduciary responsibility as investors to give the money and the resources that we're allocating to the best ventures and the ones that are going to drive the best return, because that's an investor's job. And the data that's come out and the research that's come out over the last decade is that female founders produce better returns, higher returns on average, about 30% higher returns on a lower capital investment. So they do more with less. So when you're like, what do you pick? You should be picking what is the best business. But in terms of the infrastructure of how early stage investment in particular operates, is that the capital is allocated to what they have access to and to the people that know that these kind of investors exist. Geography and network are the two main barriers of entry, because they deploy capital to people they know within their network, close to where they operate their funds. So they actually miss out on what are potentially the best performing businesses and the businesses with the potential to really change the future, because they're only looking at a really, really narrow amount of ventures. And that's the reason why 95% of the investment dollars go to male founders. The confidence to jump into that space, a space where it's just shrouded in mystery, to be quite honest, it came from a place of a little bit of anger mixed with, if I'm not courageous enough to go into these spaces and walk into conferences where no one looks like me and use my privilege and my access to do that, then there's no way that founders like me will ever get the access to the capital that they need, access to the resources that they need. So it takes making yourself a little bit uncomfortable, putting yourself a little bit out there if you really want a world that looks better than it currently is. And I want that for the girls that are coming through. I want that for my nieces and nephews and my cousins and everything like that. So you have to be a bit uncomfortable. One of the notable things that I recall about the Turok experience is that feeling of solidarity, of focusing on your similarities rather than your differences and finding that common strength. And that definitely flowed through in my decision to focus on women and minority founders. I think if we are collectively, as the disenfranchised, the disempowered, able to pull together and stand in solidarity, there's the irony is they call us underrepresented groups, but we are the majority. but together we're the majority, right? Together, when we are able to stand in solidarity, and we're finding that, in the case of women, it is that sisterhood of being able to sit in a room and be like, we're actually all solving for the same problem. So I don't believe in competition. I don't have competitors. Everyone else, and I'm like, I have potentials to collaborate with. And when I go into a room with anyone, even if they have a similar offering to mine, I'm like, let's see how we can collaborate, because we're building an ecosystem. The problem we're solving is a $1 trillion problem. It is a human rights issue, according to the UN most recent decision to make it the theme for International Women's Day. And it's going to take absolutely everyone. And I think that spirit of community, that spirit of solidarity certainly existed at Turak. Being able to leave something truly impactful, on and to the world. And that can come in a lot of different forms. I have had for a very long time a lot of clarity around what I'm supposed to do with my life. And it is about being able to give a voice to people who do not have the opportunities that they're supposed to have. Being able to create a platform so other people can stand taller. I chose to do that through entrepreneurship and empowering underrepresented entrepreneurs, as they say, women and minority entrepreneurs. I hope my legacy is to watch incredible founders create companies that change the world, by giving them the access that they deserved all along.